Hello.
And
Hello. I'm just waiting
how are
to get connected. I'm nervous, I'm just saying, but I already know what I'm doing.
you doing?
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Awesome. I am excited too. I'm very excited. Hi, Tara. I see your little chat. Oh yeah, look at this. Tech Aurora in action. Awesome, cool. I'm just gonna kind of leave a little space for people to come in. Probably give it about 5 minutes or so. So I didn't really plan on what I was gonna talk about for this 5 minutes. But I'll just kind of shoot the shit because we are in a new moon today, guys. A new moon. So isn't it funny that here we are on this Pisces new moon talking about emotion? It's so funny to me. Yeah, so I'm just gonna tap into kind of what is the new moon and what is it all about, because this will go right into everything we're going to talk about, because the new moon, or the moon in general, has influence, very large influence over our emotional state and over the way that we either feel connected or disconnected throughout the cycle. So right now we're in the new moon. So what this represents is like a fresh start. This is kind of like where we can sow our seeds. So this is like a place where we have the opportunity to acknowledge what it is that we want to release and ask and plant the seeds for what it is that we're wanting to come forth. Because as we come closer to the full moon, that is the energy of, I just see like a pregnant woman when I think about the full moon, because it's like, you know, the moon is at its peak energy point. And so this is where a lot of our manifestations will come into reality. But because it's such a short cycle between the new and the full and the new and the full, we're given this opportunity of the energy shifting every month. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of throw in that little bit. And then with it being in Pisces, Pisces is all about emotions. So if you guys have been going through the ringer, I just want you guys to have that awareness that that is a part of why, because we are in this energy of the dark moon, of the new moon. So we will have these energies surfacing. Okay, awesome. Look at all you guys. I can't see any faces. I just see sunshine. Hi, sunshine. How are you? So good to see you here. I'm so happy that I get to share this space, and it's nerve-wracking. I do a lot of talking, you know, in my everyday with my friends and whatnot, but actually like just being on stage here is kind of uncomfortable, if I'm going to be honest, but I'm learning. So yeah, just guys, I kind of pop into the chat. How's everyone doing today? Talk to me, so I feel like, you know, I'm not just talking to the computer. Yeah, just let me know kind of what's going on. I'm going to start in a few minutes, but I just want to invite you guys to kind of tap into the theme of what we're going to be talking about, which is the power of emotional liberation. So maybe I'll just give you guys a little journal prompt right now real quick to tap into what that means to you. What is emotional liberation, and what does that represent in your life? Woohoo, we got someone else coming in. Yeah, and also too, guys, I invite you to have a pen and paper as we go through this, so that you can really take advantage of this space that I'm providing, and so that you can really dive deep into understanding kind of like your own emotional depth and connection and understanding, so that way we can kind of you know, integrate this knowledge and embody our bliss, embody our sunshine state, you know? Awesome. So I'll just give you guys a minute there to just kind of think about that. I'm going to play the singing bowl to just kind of pull in the energy here and kind of create this space. It's been 5 minutes, so it's time to begin. All right, guys, just kind of get into your body here. If you're comfortable, if you're in a space where you can, just kind of close your eyes, really ground into your body here and connect to your breath. Take a nice deep inhale. Feel that oxygen. Feel the air coming in through your nostrils. Filling your lungs and releasing it. And just allowing your body to just push out that air to do what it does. And just keep connecting back to your breath in your heart center. We will be going into the heart center very intensely today, if you so choose. So I just want to prepare that energy and get this space clear so that anything that you have carrying with you coming onto this live, and just asking that you leave it outside of this space so that we can be present and clear with ourselves. Take a nice deep breath in. Let it out. For the next hour, we're going to be diving into our emotions and liberating them and the power of it and healing our emotional body. Nice deep breath in and release. Another deep breath in and release. And one more to close off. Deep breath in and release. Amazing. And when you're ready, just wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Come back into this space. Feel your third eye. Mine's blasted open. Feel your third eye just open and connected in your mind. Really, that's what that represents, is your mind being open. Okay, Chelsea says, emotional liberation to me means connecting to my emotions and the power within them to reach my highest potential. Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. I love it. That's exactly what in Sunshine. Yes, Chelsea, feeling through them embodies the soul into the body. Yeah, see, you guys already know what's up. So for some of you guys, some of this information might be a repeat, and that's totally cool. Nothing wrong with a reminder. We just had someone else come in. Okay, awesome. Cool. So guys, just let me know how you guys are feeling today. I just want to kind of tap in and get the calibration of how you guys are feeling, and then just kind of start the conversation up and going deep diving into all of this. Or maybe even just share what's your biggest block. I mean, just talk to me. Awesome. Okay, and then also I see most of you guys are muted, but I'm just going to put out there too that if you can mute just so that I don't have any interference. Yay, I can see Heidi's face now. Okay, awesome, cool. Well, I'm just gonna get into it. I'm just gonna start talking and I'm just gonna start explaining kind of like where this all begins. Like when do we begin our emotional journey and how deep does this really go? And it goes really deep, okay? So I'm just gonna just kind of introduce the connection of when we started cultivating this relationship with our emotions and kind of how that has led us to this place and the quality of life that we're living today. Okay, so actually lies, one more thing to say. If you guys have any questions that come up throughout it, I am gonna be doing a Q&A at the end. So if you just wanna, type them in the chat box, no worries, but I might answer them as I speak. So that way we don't have to kind of jumble all over the place. I can kind of get out what I need to get out and then we can come back to it, okay? Awesome. Okay, so our formative years. So as a child, this is where we start navigating this world that we've now been born into. And a lot of our connection now that we have, not even a lot, I would say pretty much all of our connection now to our emotion and how we feel about certain feelings and how we distract ourselves from certain things or certain thoughts or certain patterns of whatever that it is, always stems from childhood. Okay, so this is something really important to understand. So like in the first 7 years of our lives, this is when our brain is the most neuroplastic. So what that means is that we're basically a sponge. So everything gets basically programmed into us in those formative years of our lives. And we're not really taught anything about emotion. We're kind of, it's like a trial and error experience of navigating our reality. It's like you do something and you either get praised for it or you get in trouble for it. So that's kind of our caliber of how we have unconsciously embodied these patterns. Yeah, and someone says, I was told I wasn't allowed to feel emotions. I think that's sunshine. Exactly. And the power of it, like this is our power. So this is oh, I get so excited about this because I don't really, like, I'm a Pisces, just to throw that out to everybody so that you can understand like my lens. So like my lens of life, emotion galore, like that's been my navigation system, and it is our navigation system, which is what I'm going to get into. But I was raised in an environment where like I was allowed to feel my feelings, and I still picked up the societal programming of being ashamed because I grew up as a competitive gymnast. So I was an athlete. Like athletes don't cry, like athletes don't show emotion, athletes don't, so for me, like I was, even though it wasn't, within my family that I picked up these patterns, I still carried these beliefs with me that, dimmed my light, that kind of disconnected me from myself, which is even just like I went through the ringer with depression and a lot of mental health and stuff. And the whole time I was ashamed of it. Like the whole time I was like, wow, like Aurora, you can do better than this. Like you got everything in the bag, like you're good. And it was really that internal dialogue that was telling me that I wasn't allowed to feel this way. Okay, so perfect. This is the leeway into our internal dialogue, I guess, because this is what is created from the experiences that you have had as a child. So whatever it is, even if I know there's even some people that are like, well, I don't have trauma, like I don't have trauma, so I don't, and it's like, well, wake up call, guys. All of us have trauma. If we're in a human body, we all have trauma. Okay, so I just want to make that very clear. And trauma doesn't have to be, like it can just be something as simple as, like when you were a kid in school and you got bullied. you know, or somebody said something to you, or, you know, and it shifted. It's like, these are the moments that I'm going to invite you guys to revisit so that you can reclaim those parts of yourself, so that you don't feel like that little girl or that little boy that said, hey, whatever someone said to you that was me, you know? Like, I always use this big nose example. So like, if I had an insecurity of my nose, you know, say when I was a kid, someone's like, oh wow, Rory, you have like the biggest nose I've ever seen, and I already had insecurities about my nose, that would have confirmed my insecurity, and I would have kept carrying that. So maybe into my 30s, 40s, 50s, I still feel like I have a big nose. Or I can go into that belief and I can say, actually, my nose is perfect, and I love my nose, and I love myself, and I don't actually care what you think about me, and it all is based on how I feel, you know? So it's like about rewriting the story, basically. So you're rewriting your story through this emotional liberation. And it's like, for me, there's been a lot of, I'm very mental as well. So like, I'm very in my head. So there's a lot of mechanisms within our mind that keep us protected and that keep us safe and that tell us that, oh, you know, it's not that bad, because that's what it's there for. It's a mechanism to keep us safe. So also acquainting with that understanding is within our mind. Sorry, guys, I know it's so much information, but there's just so much to know. In our mind, we have, well, not really like in our mind, I guess, but the function of our mind, we have an ego. And the ego, I just want to like tap on here, because this is that critic, that inner critic that is only there to keep you safe. Okay, like, this is something that's so important, especially within the spiritual community and within the healing community. Like, our goal here is not to throw our ego out in the trash. It's like, okay, hey, ego, I see you, I understand you, you're a part of me. If I didn't have my ego, I wouldn't be a human. So I would not be able to be living this reality if I didn't have an ego. So the ego is what keeps us protected. Okay, so it was like, you know, when you were a little kid and maybe someone said, hey, you got a big nose, and that you knew in that moment to shut down. Like, that wasn't a time to open up and express yourself, you know, and you're like, oh wow, I gotta shut down because I'm not safe. And that's really the mechanism of the ego. And this is why it's so important for us to clear and cleanse and purify, you know, these patterns that we have mentally or emotionally or whatever it may be, maybe even like physically, like smoking or whatever. And that's why it's so important to go into and deep dive into whatever it is that comes up. And this is the other thing too. I'm not about digging. I'm about anchoring in higher frequencies, anchoring in truth. So like I said, with that nose example, I can say, you know, speak your truth, you know, to yourself, like your authentic truth, your soul truth that says you are perfect, that says that you are loved, that says all of these kind things to you, because that is also a part of our internal dialogue. Okay, so now we have like this division between this voice within us where we have our ego, our human self that's here keeping us protected and keeping us safe. And then we have our soul self that doesn't understand the human experience. So it's just like, oh, love and light and sunshine. And what do you mean? Like, you're perfect and all this stuff. And most of us have turned that voice off. So really the process of liberation through our emotion is that we're healing our shadow self, our, you know, parts of ourselves that we don't want to look at, so that we can liberate ourselves into embodying these higher frequencies and actually stepping into yourself, instead of, you know, your whole life feeling like you're not good enough or feeling like this or whatever your feeling is. You know, that's what I'm going to get you guys to write down right now. Grab your note, grab your pen and paper, and write, what is it? Like, tap into that feeling. Like, as I'm saying this, What is it that comes up for you? I know for me, like there's been a lot of self-worth stuff. There's been all different like lack mentality, vows of poverty, like all these different things that are tapped into my emotions. So yeah, and then here they're like, okay, talk about past lives now. Okay, guys, here we go. So we talk about our life that we're in right now, and that we go back to our childhood in order to unpack, not even childhood, I'm just going to say like any time before this now moment, because something could have happened 2 weeks ago, that you picked up. So I just want to make that clear too, like it's not just our childhood. I'm just saying that's usually the source of our patterns now. Okay. Then on top of that, to add a layer, we also have soul memory. We also have memories within our soul. And this is definitely something that's not talked about. It is and it isn't. It's a very like blurred understanding. And all that it is we have had previous lives before this life. We have, yeah, Sunshine says cellular memories, exactly, like quantum memories. Like this is like even beyond cellular. This is like etheric, if you will. It's the Akashic record type stuff, right? So yeah, and it's definitely in our cellular memory because it's in our DNA, right? So, I'll just give you an example here. I had this fear of being kidnapped when I was like 12 years old, totally irrational fear. I'm like, what is going on? What the heck? I grew up, I tapped back into that. And then I realized in a past life, I had been kidnapped. And before it felt like an irrational fear to me, like for Aurora. But then when I tapped into my past lives, I was able to see like, oh my God, like I was kidnapped. So no wonder I had that fear. So that's why I wanted to bring that extra layer into this concept so that you guys can understand like the depth of this work. Like you're literally like liberating your soul as you're choosing to heal these aspects of yourself. You're reclaiming and you're taking your power back. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, let me just see what I got here because I think I covered most of what I wrote down. Yep, so connection, perceptual, yep. I'm just gonna give you guys a quick rundown because I just said a lot of information. So that way, we can recap it, and then I'm gonna go into the next topic. So our formative years, that's when we have our connection and our perception of what emotions are, and we're cultivated through trial and error. We have learned through experience of what to embody and what not to embody, which is where we chose whether something was good or something was bad or something was favorable or something was something I'm never going to touch again. And so then this creates fear. Okay, so I'll go back to the ego for a quick second because I said the ego protects us. It also is a mechanism within us that catalyzes fear because that's its way of protecting us. It's like, hey guys, okay, no, this isn't good. So then it brings up all this fear, but it really is just our safety mechanism. And the more we can unsludge that and recognize all the untruths within it, that is the process of the liberation. Cool, and then I got the human level imprint and the soul level imprint. Awesome. Okay, and now I'm gonna go into patterns here. So I'm gonna introduce you guys to the feedback loop understanding of reality, really. The feedback loop, the pain pleasure principles. Yes, I got so much to say. Okay, feedback loop. So basically the way that the entire universe works, either in the large scale or the small scale, is feedback loops. And what that means is that there is, something that goes out, which then reacts something that makes it come back. So I'll use emotions because that's our topic. So for an example, like if I am feeling anger within myself and I'm projecting that anger, I'm just gonna keep manifesting and having that lens of anger or whatever it is, sadness, because I could even incorporate my story and my depression with it, because that was the only lens I was able to look at or look through, because I was so attached to all the stories and everything that came with it. So having this understanding that what it is that you're putting out to the universe is what it is you're getting back. Okay? I know, basic, but it's about bringing this belief and this comprehension and this understanding into your now moment, into every moment that it is that you're living throughout your day, and cultivating, like taking responsibility. Like, you know, it's like when something happens outside of you, we tend to blame and we tend to shift it instead of just seeing it for what it is and processing our own reaction to the experience, you know? So yeah, so having this pattern, I'll just share you guys this little picture that I have because it helps me understand. So it's like here we have, this is our pattern loop. Okay. So we have, okay, living life. Oh, look, we are living our pattern again. Oh, look, we're living our pattern. But then this is our choice point. I call this our choice point. So this is like where we get to choose if we are going to move forward into whatever it is we want to next, or are we going to keep living that cycle? Okay. And then I'll just go into these drawings real quick so that you guys can understand. So it's like, this is a drawing to me. This is saying same level of consciousness to process whatever emotion or experience that you're going through. And then this is the upward spiral. So this is just a circle. This is that basically the same representation of that loop. And then we have this, the upward spiral. So the upward spiral, this is us elevating our consciousness. And then we have the downward spiral, and this is the depressive consciousness. So this is us choosing to ruminate, if you will, in those lower frequencies, okay? So now we can take, you know, this concept of our patterns and our choice points, and we can also take this understanding of raising our vibration or lowering our vibration or choosing not to do anything at all. And we can take these simple concepts and implement them into our everyday reality. And this is kind of like the magic potion, if you will, of bringing conscious awareness to your emotions and to your life. And I'm saying emotions, but it can be, well, I guess emotions are life, but it's really everything, you know, any event that happened, any trauma, anything, just so that you can connect to yourself. This is all about connection to self. This is so that you can understand what the fuck is going on inside of you and outside of you, and that you can just ground yourself into this knowing and this trust. And that's like that, like I was saying, how we have the ego and the spirit. It's like we're not getting rid of the ego, but we're integrating spirit. So as we're integrating spirit, the ego will naturally, I'll say, dissolve, because it feels safe. Because it knows that it's safe, and it knows, you know, that nothing bad is going to happen. So the ego has no purpose. You know, the only purpose for the ego is to keep us in alignment and to keep us protected. So if we can anchor in our soul frequency, our higher self frequency, this higher understanding, if you don't resonate with those words, all I'm saying is a higher understanding. That's what this upward spiral, right, is like, choosing this higher understanding throughout the process. So yeah, I just gotta, one sec, guys. Okay, I'm good. Okay, yeah, so yeah, about integrating these higher frequencies. And so I'm kind of anchoring in this modality that I'm calling high vibrational healing. And I know that there will be some backlash in the spiritual world because it kind of sounds like spiritual bypassing, but that's okay, because I know what it means. And as people kind of understand what I mean by it, that's all that I care about. Because what I mean by high vibrational healing is that we are choosing to look up, basically, is what I'm being shown right now. We're choosing to look up and to have hope and to see this higher perspective and to understand that, nothing is forever. This too shall pass. So integrating in that lesson and that understanding will help you transmute whatever it is that you're going through. And that's all it is. Anything that's stuck in your field is just asking to be understood. It's not who you are, because you are much more than anything that's ever happened to you. And those are all just experiences that are getting put into this vault of your soul consciousness. Okay. So let's see, what else do I have here? So higher, okay, awesome. So higher versus lower vibrational emotions. I want to go into that because this ties into this upward spiral and this downward spiral. Okay, so when I'm talking, and it very clearly state here, this does not mean good or bad. Okay, this is just the way the energy moves. So if we can understand how energy moves and what the density of each emotion is, especially within our body, then we'll be able to move through them a lot easier. So we're basically going to be acquainting with these emotions with new lens, with a new perspective and a new understanding. Okay, so these higher frequency emotions like joy and happiness and like flow, like this to me, not that flow is an emotion, but it is to me. This is the higher vibrational side. And then we have the lower vibrational side, which is the depression and the sadness, and everything has its purpose. So I want to just illustrate this to you in like a full picture perspective of understanding like high versus low creates the whole. It's not like high or low, it's high and low, and they both exist. They always exist, and we always have access to them. It's just about expanding our conscious awareness and our experiences to actually be able to integrate that vibration. Because when I was depressed or when I was in the martyr and victim role of my emotions, I just kept feeding into the lower frequencies. Even though intellectually, like I understood that I could be doing different things in order to shift that, I just didn't. And slowly I've evolved and I've chosen, to rise above. And that's really all I want to say about this high versus low thing, because it's like, this is just like the vibration, and that's like, vibration just means oscillations, how quick does this feeling move? Like, that's really all that it is. Okay. So when we're working through our denser emotions, we're bringing this lens that we're transmuting and we're transmutating, and we're actually like alchemizing it into our highest potential. Because if you think about it, where you're not putting your focus, for example, if you have this deep abandonment wound, okay? If you have a deep abandonment wound and you don't acknowledge it, you're just gonna keep attracting these experiences and the same people, different people, but the same stories over and over, and you're gonna hit your head against the wall. And that's like that circle, just going in that circle. And then it's like, once you have that awareness of what it is you're doing and what your pattern is, you can choose to shift it. How do you guys feel about everything I'm saying? Like, give me like a booyah, Aurora, or like, oh my God, you're making me fall asleep. I know it's like words, but they're so powerful and they're so potent. So I know the power of them. Oh yeah, thumbs up. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, validating everything you've been shifting in the past 6 weeks. Awesome. Love it, sunshine. I love it. Okay, now I have a little exercise for you guys to do. And so we're gonna tap in. Like, this is a tool that you guys can use to feel within your body what path that the emotion follows, okay? And what I mean by this, so we're acquainting with sensations within our body. So it's like, how does the energy of each emotion move? So for example, I have here anger. Tap into that emotion. It can be even thought. Pay attention. When you think of anger, when you think of expressing anger, what comes up for you? I want you to go even deeper than that and feel the sensations within your body. You know, like I'm hearing heat, like you get hot and one word I have is explosive. Awesome. I just see some of you guys tapping into this emotion, so I'm giving you the space. Because this is a big one. And I even put little drawings. I'll show you guys these little drawings because to me, I like the visual. So when I look at anger and the explosiveness, I see this. And I'll just do a quick little rundown of the other few I went through. So we have grief. Grief is very similar to that downward spiral that I put on the other page because it represents this downward spiral of sadness, like this depth that you had no idea that you even had within you. And then we have happy, you know, happy to me is like a heart-centered contentment. And that's kind of like what I see, like this over the heart center with just like emanating this beautiful frequency. And then excitement, which to me, like I feel it in the solar plexus and sacral, and it's like an upward movement. So yeah, that's just a little intro on how you guys can just familiarize yourself with emotions, with the sensations within your body and within your mind. Unpack the belief system that you have around each emotion, because as you do that, that will also liberate you from that limitation that you put on yourself. Meaning, like, even if sadness is bad, oh, I can't feel sad because, or even just trying to run away from the feeling. So just have an awareness of that. Okay, let's see. I'm almost done, guys. You guys have done so good at listening. All right. So yeah, okay. So then I just have some sinking deeper into the body through relaxation. So just some like things that you can do to access these states. So you to just feel that energy move. So I have meditation, dance, art, really anything creative, anything that gets you out of your head and into your heart or into your body. Writing and connecting to yourself. Okay, so these exercises is really the whole point is to connect to yourself so that you can understand yourself, you know, like get excited to get to know yourself as if you just met the love of your life. You just met the love of your life and you want to know everything about this person, what makes them tick, what they love, what they don't love, the worst things that they've ever been through, the best things that they've ever been through. And then look in the mirror and do your work, because that's what's going to liberate you. That's it. You're the only one that knows your deepest, darkest secrets. You're the only one that can open the box for yourself, okay? Yeah, and then I have observe. Don't judge. This is a really big one. Don't judge. Just observe your thoughts and emotions. Don't sweat the why. Like, don't be like, well, why am I feeling this? Why? Don't sweat the why. Allow the guidance to surface. Give yourself that space and then trust your intuition, which is that soul connection that you have that you're going to cultivate and strengthen, which is the love, the nurture, the kindness, the part of yourself that just loves everybody and everything that got turned off because you cared too much and then you pretended like you didn't care at all. And the truth is that you really fucking care. So start caring again, start stepping into that love, start stepping into that openness and vulnerability and truth and willingness to grow, because you're the only one that's keeping you where you want to be. And if you can liberate yourself emotionally, then you are liberated in every way. Awesome. Okay, that's all I got for you guys. Oh, lies. I got one more thing. Explore your inner critic, I have written down here. So that can be an exercise that you can do as well, is exploring your inner critic. When I first started observing my inner critic, like, she was really mean, okay? We're just gonna say it like that. Like, probably like the meanest person on the block, you know, just like to myself, not to other people. Oh my God, to other people, like they had no idea. Like I was just the sweetest little thing and I just gave and gave and gave. But then when I looked at myself, I couldn't even look at myself in the eyes, like in the mirror. Like, this is how much work I've done. So just get to know yourself, acquaint with yourself, explore your inner critic, ask where these, you know, feelings come from. Like, whose belief is this? Because it's not your belief. The belief that you are not worthy did not come from you. You were not, well, you might have been born into this world because of past life stuff, but point is, your essence is love, and your essence is compassion. And so we have to heal in order to access our true self again. Chelsea says, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Okay, awesome, guys. So yeah, I'm gonna open up here now for some questions. Like, I know I said a lot, but yeah, so just like kind of type them in the chat box. Let me know, like, if you have any questions or comments or whatever it is. I'm gonna do a little promo here for myself. I am offering one-on-one sessions. So if you are interested in going deeper and needing an extra hand through the process, I will be sending an email after this webinar that will give you the link to book in with me. I'm also have like a 20-minute like introductory call. If you're not sure if you want to or don't want to work with me and take the plunge, then I also have that free call so that we can connect behind the scenes. Yeah, okay, that's it. That's my my selfless ad. Sunshine says, wow, that hit hard. I was mean to myself. I projected upon myself what others projected upon to me at a young age. Exactly, right? And I've watched you grow over the few years, and it really has been an honor, because I just love holding that space for you and watching you really step into the love that you are, because you exude it, and I have seen it, and it's so amazing. So I'm glad that you're starting to really embody your higher beliefs. It's really nice to see. Honor is mine. You have been a key soul on my journey. I love it. All right, well, I don't see any questions, so anybody want to ask me anything, or are we gonna cut it short here? It's 10:43. Just saying. Awesome. Sunshine looks happy. Linda looks like she's just doing her thing. Heidi's got a smile. Can't see anybody else. Beautiful. All right. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. Just kidding. And I told myself I wouldn't forget. I just want to read you guys this really nice thing I wrote. Kind of like Heidi told me to read it in the webinar, and I think it'll be brilliant. So just to close it off, I just want to kind of read this to you, and then yeah, we'll say our goodbyes. All right, so the power of emotional liberation, healing our emotional body. Emotional liberation is when we are not controlled or influenced by our reactive emotions that we have suppressed within ourselves for some time. The process of emotional liberation allows for the mind and the body to be purified so that we may be united at the heart center for a pure connection to our soul, source self, our higher self, our creator, your creator. When we liberate ourselves through the held emotions within our psyche and our body, our life starts transforming from the inside out. When we focus on healing our emotional body, integrating and liberating us from our trauma, we are given a new lens of life. This is your rebirth, from your old self to the new, truest and authentic, pure and proud. And it's through the alchemical process of transmuting your dense emotions, fear, mistrust, neglect, abuse, absence, etc., into compassion and understanding for yourself and others. As you acknowledge these fragmented aspects of yourself, you start reclaiming your sovereignty and divinity, your true birthright. You learn to relax into your body, to unclench that jaw, and to surrender to the beauty that you have the power to transmute and step into. The power of emotional liberation and healing the emotional body will set you onto your highest path and purpose, because you will know yourself, your true self, mind, body, and spirit, the whole self, your whole self, your source self. Realize that your potential lies within the, I lost it. Within the acknowledgement and conscious moments of your shadow self or your dense emotions. You came here to heal those old wounds, and you are ready to step into a healed, whole life full of love, connection, fulfillment, and abundance in all ways, always. Here we will go through some learning lessons. Oh, that's it. And then I was going to, explain what we were going to get into. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to read to you guys. I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for giving me part of your Saturday, because I know there's so many things that you could be doing. So I'm just gonna, again, close out with this bowl real quick, just to kind of close that energy back in, and then I'll say my goodbyes. And yeah, thank you for coming. Okay, I'm being told that anybody that is showing up to this webinar or that will watch the replay, to be aware that you have been activated. Any new knowledge that comes into your field is an activation, and it is your choice to integrate and embody it or not, and you will know. I just wanted everybody to know that if this is your activation, if this is something that you've kind of been waiting for, understand that this is shifting a lot of energy. Your higher self is being pulled in closer to your body, closer to your life. And so it is. I wish you guys all the love and all the healing energy and light on your path. Namaste, everybody. Have a beautiful, beautiful Saturday. And I will see you when I see you. Bye.